people do it, they give it for free. No much. So we are using that. When you start using it, you find it attractive. You make them doing the paid version. Some people say, if you don't like it, you have to take a return policy, a return policy, so you can do it. That's another way to do this. How much does it take to learn the new system? Sometimes to learn the new system takes long. You give new system. It takes quite a long time to learn. For example, we were to they may not be so comfortable. So you need to think about these are the things that really taking off. So what is two of the most important things in the picture, which were very differentiated. Everything is so let's take a customer point of view. So let me tell you the most important. If you have a so when you are doing everything, if it is good design, so say I will be here. The thing would be on the top is to be different. How one different. That way I can charge. So it's critical that you need to know what is the differentiator that you do. Think about all the intellectual property. That means nobody else. Your differentiator part could be your intellectual. Could be network. Things like that. One differentiator is exclusive network. So first one is differentiator. Second one is it for you can always change the effort changes. When people have problems learning when you change the person, data. So the design is a wonderful design. Okay. And the user says I don't like this. Then I just need to figure out, can I change this user and find somebody else who likes this? Okay. And that mindset. So I want things like one, do you remember how many of you were there at the C-section? Do you remember? Yes. How many of you were there at that? So I so when they promise they can tell that the baby is in reach and now, so that the doctors will perform C-section. So the promise is written, they can tell whether the baby is in reach and now. Okay. They have the credibility because 3M is a very impressive company. Okay. There was no available technology at the time to tell whether the baby is in reach or not. Okay. So they thought that they have a very good differentiation. They are differentiating. Maybe they missed and now come back On this side, it costs some X number of dollars. The company has to buy the hospital. Okay, but then no risk because they can actually try it out, check whether it works or not before buying. So they do this, and very little expertise is needed. Nurses will be trained to do that part. Okay. So when they started going to hospital, want to sell, they said, if you want to sell anything to Kelly Harris, you go to the principal, right? So they went to the head of the hospital. They said, with all our experience, we can feel the tummy that the baby is in each other. We don't need to see. So they actually did not think of the competitor. In this case, the competitor is doctor with experience. There was no technology with the competitor. There's always substituting something with something else. So they went back and they said, with all our experience, we can tell babies in each other. Who doesn't have experience? And they said, any doctors who just started don't have experience to tell whether the baby is. So they actually changed the center point there. So then people started buying. Okay, once they start buying, they found out that it can tell whether it's twins, triplets, which is always surprised. They can also tell birth defect, can tell all things. It became. So always remember that the most important thing that would be the target customer. You can always change that given point. The second most important is you have to think about what is your differentiation. Always try on differentiation. How are we different from everything else? Most of the time when we are doing design project, talk to them about competition, how are you different? And the more you push on that one, the better likely you will come up with designs that are better. Okay. The other example I told was Scooty. Scooty was gender neutral by when it started off. Then they recognized more women were buying than men. So they decided that, hey, we are going to design for women. And they made it so that at 5'2" inches, women can start it with no problem and lightweight, and they have to consider the dresses and everything else around the world. Okay. So always we change that point where your outcome. Promise normally we talk about utility, performance, simplicity, customization, or values, things like that. I'm running through because of time limitation. I wanted to pick few examples that you can take it. How many of you are aware of Tupperware? Tupperware. So it's pretty popular. And the reason why I stopped here is goes back to day 1, day 2. So there was a crazy inventor called Earl Tupper. Earl Tupper created many inventions, nothing to go until they came up with Tupperware. So he created this plastic where when you open it up, it makes a noise. So he actually used to call a burping seal, like burps. Okay. So he was trying to sell this Tupperware. Not many people were buying. Okay. So one day secretary was out, there was a phone call, the phone call said, hey, I've been ordering this Tupperware and I'm not getting fast enough. Can you please make sure that you arrange these quickly? So he looks at it and the order, and then he recognized the person who called. He's the person who orders the maximum number of Tupperware things from his side. So he decided, okay, let me fly to California. He's in Cleveland, which is in the middle of the country in the northern ocean. He flies to California. Meets this lady, her name is Annie Weiss. I'll do it before we start.
What was around just before?
So he goes to California. He asks the person, okay, here is Tupperware, what are you doing? She says, anyways, I sell to my friends. And this is how I go Tupperware parties, house parties, and all this. He liked it, and he makes anyways the president of CEO of that whole company. And he's just saying he wants to be. And anyways actually that idea of selling to their friends is nothing but you are bringing the credibility, your own credibility by selling. That's how credibility. Second thing why I do is, a lot of times you get a phone call. Okay? There's a difference between lucky people and unlucky people. Lucky people are the people who recognize there may be opportunity. And he is one of those people who recognize the opportunity. That's why that Tupperware became such a big company. And they solve the company because these people.
Here's to the crazy ones. Misfits, rebels, troublemakers, the round heads in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fun, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see demons. Because the people who are crazy to think they can change the world are monsters.
So why differentiation is important? Can I give you an example? Okay. Suppose you are at the beach, okay, and there are two people, I same shot, both are one on the left side, the end of the picture, one on the right side, both of them selling ice cream. Both of them selling, say vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. Okay, maybe butterscotch. So 4 here, 4 there. So people on this side of the beach will go to this side, the ones on this side goes to the other side. The one in the middle can go either. Okay. So always in business there's competition, in design there's competition. So people who is selling on this side decides, I want more customers, so we need to move closer to the center. Okay. So there are more customers going to this. So this person will move this. Sooner or later they will be at the tip of the beach, okay, on the top right. Now both of them are equally accessible to the customer. So what do? They reduce the price, the other one reduce the price. They keep going until they reach the cost of the product. They can't go anymore. So nobody is making money. Okay. So the only way you avoid this situation is if you can find a differentiator that makes your product different from everybody else. As long as you are selling plain vanilla ice cream, you never make money. That's what the key part. That's why differentiator is pretty important. And the video also shows everybody who changes the world, other people who think different. And you probably saw Gandhi there. And I want to pick. So Xerox machines in the olden days were big, they were highly designed for big corporations. Okay. Canon wanted to enter Xerox machine. And they didn't want to fight it out with big Xerox machine and the big people. So they said, we are going to make small portable printers for house or small offices.
what I want you to think about as people are making decisions. Okay? So in design, we normally prototype. Okay? We prototype a number of systems. Okay? And we can test it, things like that. So why do we prototype? I'll ask the design guy. Why do we prototype?
Whatever the ideas we had, that we should have to make it a design, make it a material ideas.
Make it so that
The organization is required.
organization. Why else would you prototype?
Because the losses, if we make it a large scale, if it may fail, there will cut the losses.
You tell us. Why do we make it? Should we make a really good looking prototype?
Sorry.
Should we make a prototype that really looks nice, or should it be not?
No, should it be not? Because it's just
Rough
prototype.
prototype. Testing. You're testing.
It's a low fidelity.
Low fidelity. So a lot of time we ask students to make prototype, and before asking them to make prototype, they need to decide why I am making this prototype. Remember day one I told you, the engineers are good at how go do a prototype, which they keep doing. Why are you making the prototype? More important question, so that they can make the appropriate. Okay. So you may ask question then, what is appropriate? Let me start back up and start. Okay. We want students to do sketches and prototype. Sketches also you can consider them prototype, but sketches are primarily for exploring ideas. And when you sketch, you get new ideas. Okay. Sketches are non-chemical because first case you can take the paper and you can start writing. Once you go to prototype, say you are reasonably committed. Okay. You may change. So prototypes are for testing, refining ideas. That's a critical part. Okay. Sometimes you have unresolved. Is it better to take the buttons on the top, or the side, or on the front? So you want to get that particular issue from the user to tell which one is better, because you are not sure where the placement is. Okay. You want to kind of tell this is how I am going to implement it, particularly for people in your business sector. What will you implement? So, particularly in the current day, there are a couple of things happen. First one is there's a convergence. Earlier, we used to do sketches, somebody used to do CAD models, then there's prototyping. Now, with prototyping, with 3D printers, everything, and there's a simulation also available. There's CAD models available. All of them are coming together very nicely. Okay. So, when we say prototype, sometimes we say it's a very good computer model, sometimes it's so there are models there, and I want you to look at. Nike shoe. So the waffle maker came to the bottom, and they made the shoe. And they wanted to test whether it actually works or not. So the purpose of that prototype is whether the Nike